All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. So, last night I didn't get enough sleep again because my son decided to wake up 4 or 5 times. I don't know what his problem is. Oh, like I said, hold on, let me mute it or there's going to be an echo. Here we go. But yeah, so son woke up over and over again last night, and we've now banned him from sleeping in my daughter's room at night. Lately, he's been waking up, going to my daughter's room, and trying to go to sleep in there. But now, every time he wakes up slightly, he tries to go in my daughter's room, and so we have to ban him from going in there. I mean, it's nice that they get along enough to sleep in the same room and to want to sleep in the same room, but this whole waking up 4 or 5 times a night thing's getting old. So let me catch up on the chat. Good morning, Shruba. Dulio, good morning. Miguel, good morning. Netron, good morning. Rel, good morning. Live Gains, good morning. I got crushed over trading yesterday. Yeah, man. It happens. The market's been kind of tough, though, honestly. What's up, Casey Mack? Good morning. Good morning, Seven. Good morning, Darren. John, good morning. Surfing Sky, good morning. Tiny, good morning. Manny, what's up, man? Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I love my kids and everything, but they are frustrating, for sure. All right, so four biggest watches. I'm watching AMRN, still moving a lot from the last few days. Keeping an eye on this one. CCJ is probably one of my favorite watches. It's gapping up from 983 to 1118. Also watching GoPro GPRO gapping up from 692 to 710. Keeping an eye on that one. GERN GERN just absolutely tanks here. It might be a split. I'll have to look this one up to see what the catalyst is for this one, but it could be a split. What's up, Corey? Abdul? Cool. Good morning, guys. Also watching CAG. You can see CAG here gapping down a huge amount. Gonna watch that one. CLRB, can't trade it, but watching it. VKTX, just because it's moving some. VSTM had a pretty bad day yesterday. Beautiful VWAP fade a bunch of times on VSTM though. You can see this thing just faded over and over and over again off the VWAP. Kind of a little FOMO going on with that one at this point, just because I missed most of those moves. And then the cannabis stocks, there are a few other ones I'm watching. Like I said, the volume's a little slow today. Yeah, that's essentially my watch list as well, Dulio. Johnson & Johnson terminated Gern's partnership. That makes sense. How do I know if a stock's tradable? So I go down to the trade manager here, and I go to symbol, and I just type it in. And so like you can see CLRB is not tradable, but if I type in AMRN, it has a Y under tradable. If I type in CCJ, same thing, it has a Y under tradable. GERN, same. VSTM, same. And so, you look to see what it has under tradable. But yeah, I already posted my watch list. Sorry, I wasn't able to actually post my snap trade watch list this morning. Like I said, I was running a little late this morning. It's been kind of a hectic morning. Didn't get a lot of sleep. I could try to add some to my watch list though. I can't do that. I think AMRN's already there. I can add CCJ. VKTX I can add. I wish I could trade ACHV though. I mean, out of the ones I can't trade, ACHV looks pretty good. Gapping up from 273 to 363. I wonder what KBH is doing. That was one from yesterday as well. See, this one faded really nicely off the VWAP too. And so yeah, not too much moving right now. Gotta watch a few of these, see what happens. But yeah, I just updated my snap trade watch list. Yeah, that's 100% Brendan. That's what I've actually noticed that too. That they've actually become really strict with what they're. It's actually not TradeNet. It's TEFs. So it's TEFs. Is they're becoming a little bit more strict. Um, yeah, like I said, like usually it's usually a lot of these were used to be tradable in there. What's up, Sonny? I mean, yeah, there's still a decent amount of options though to trade. I mean, I could usually find a workaround for it, but yeah, I've noticed that as well. Biggest flaw of TEFs is that some stocks aren't tradable. Good morning, Matthew. But yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount that I could trade. Like today, I can trade AMRN, CCJ, GoPro, Gurn, CAG, VSTM, VKTX, Cron, TLRY, NEPT, NIO. So I could trade a lot of most of my watch list. I could still trade honestly, but the ones I can't trade unfortunately are ACHV, which is probably a decent gapper here. It looks good. Usually, I mean, if you look at it, the last 5 months, it didn't. It had super low volume in the last few months, and so that's why it's not tradable. A lot of times when they start to run, like usually, I'm sure when winter rolls around, they'll start adding a lot more, just because the volume will be a little bit better in the market, and that's what they ultimately use to decide whether they're going to list a stock on their platform as volume. What's up, Cole? Good morning, man. Good morning, the best. What's up, man? Still kind of looking. I mean, CCJ is probably one of the ones that I'm really looking to short. I'll go over the catalyst in a second for some of these. I'm still waiting to see if AMRN has a red day. It's had a few red days before, but I mean, this one ran so much already that I think a lot of people are looking to see when this one's actually going to fail. You know, GERN put would have been great, but you can never really predict some of these failed deals here. But this would have been a great move to take advantage of. SSC. Alright, well, they say that one's tradable. I don't know. I mean, what makes you think it's about to run, Michael? NBEV. Yeah, NBEV, it's not tradable. It hasn't been lately. But this is just the cheaper version of some of these cannabis stocks. And so if I can't trade this one, I could just trade their, these sympathy plays from this one. But yeah, gotta look to see if GERN rebounds some here. I mean, that's the obvious play, I think, is a rebound on GERN. But GoPro gapping up some, AMRN gapping some, CCJ gapping some. So these four are my main watches: GERN, AMRN, GoPro, and CCJ. They really don't look bad. Some of these other ones I can always trade on Robinhood. If I want to trade some. Honestly, the volume's just pretty low today, to be honest. BBBY. Bed Bath & Beyond gapping down a huge amount as well. Lately, I've been noticing some VWAP fades have been happening after down gappers. So after the stock gaps down, I've been noticing some VWAP fades, and so I may start to kind of pay attention to that. Kind of looking at ASNA as well. This one has shown the ability to fade some. So watching that. But yeah, a little dull day in the market though today. NUGT. I mean, I don't know whether it's going to be a good short. I really don't like to try to predict them before the open. Is this the gold ETF? But yeah, I really don't know whether it's going to be a good short or not. All I can really look at is the overextension on some of these. And so, like, I look at the daily chart. I like CCJ on the intraday chart. The daily chart doesn't look as good. Actually, no, it looks good now. Thinking about it, it's gapping up to... Where's it gapping up to? 1120, so it's gapping up to here. And it does have some resistance here at 1130s, 1140s, maybe 1150s. And so gonna watch that. There's some resistance here. So keeping an eye on that move. See if it gets rejected there maybe. Fades off of the VWAP in the process. Gives me a good short opportunity. Kind of what I'm looking for. GoPro. Basing it off of the daily chart. Where's this one at? About 710, right? 708. Okay, let's look at some resistance. See where some resistance is. Got some resistance at 730s. Maybe some at 7. But it's over 7 now, so it would have to break under that. I'm watching those. Like I said, still waiting for AMRN to come back down. It's at 1363. It's got some resistance at 1415. No worries, Huguetes. Good morning, man. Good morning, James, Felix. I think so, Alex, although I'm not 100% sure. I think it's only once. I think you can use it only once. I think you can use my 10% off link, or I think even if you use the 20% link, you could still use the 10% off link as much as you want, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Nice, Darren. Nice work, man. Well, I'm up on my NEPT put options. You can see I bought a put option at about 5 something for NEPT, and it's dropped substantially. And so I think I've paid a decent, I think I paid 15. Yeah, it's up to 23 on it, so I'm up $8 on this one. Um, Gonna see if it can continue to drop. Still got a lot of time for this one, so it should be a profitable option. And options is something I've been kind of toying with lately. And so we'll see if that one works out. It looks like it may. Good morning, Mark. Yeah, looking at ACHV, unfortunately, salty. It's not tradable for us, though. And also, guys, today's news is brought to you by SnapTrade. That's SNAPTRADE.US. It's an awesome free tool for traders to take advantage of. They recently updated their news section, and so if I want to just see today's news, that relevant news, I can just click today's news, and it shows me, the most significant news stories in the market, which I thought was a pretty cool feature that they added. I can also go to my watch list just to see what on my watch list is moving and why. The specific catalyst is doing that. I also share my watch list with a decent amount of traders each morning, and so if you want my watch list shared with you, sign up to SnapTrade, send me your username or email, and I'll add you to that list. Also, guys, they really want your feedback. SnapTrade, the cool thing is they're constantly updating their site, trying to better fit their users, and so they really want your feedback to let you kind of know what you would like to see added to SnapTrade, or maybe what you would like fixed or anything like that. And so it would be great if you could leave your feedback for SnapTrade. All you have to do is either let me know in the chat, or go down to the feedback button on the bottom right. You can click comment and just let them know what you want to see added, what you want to see on their platform, and they'll do their best to add it. They've been asking me to get users' feedback, and so do that if you have time. It would be a great way to improve the site. And so let me know if you guys have any requests for SnapTrade, and I'll go ahead and do that. And go check out SnapTrade. It's SNAPTRADE.US. What's up, James? Good morning, man. So I hear a siren in the background. I'm gonna call my wife to make sure she's okay. It's kind of, maybe it's like an OCD thing of mine, but like anytime I hear a siren, I just want to make sure it's not my kids and my wife driving, bringing them to school. So I'll be right back, guys. All right, so she's okay. I just called her. But yeah, so not a ton of options today. There's not that many movers, not that many good plays today. I don't think. There's a few gappers like ACHV, but that's not tradable. Biggest watch is probably CCJ and AMRN. Still kind of watching AMRN to see if it fades back down. It's been running up a decent amount every day now, so I'm gonna look for it to wash some. Also looking at a looking at a rebound for GERN. Apparently somebody mentioned that Johnson and Johnson backed out of a deal they had with GERN, and just a massive drop here. It's gapping down from 623. You can see at the top left here, gapping down from 620s to $2, and so crazy drop. Gonna look up the news on some of these now. First one I'm looking at is CCJ. That one's probably my favorite one this morning. It's definitely been tough trading though. I haven't been doing as well as I have previously in the last month or so. So it sounds like CCJ had a favorable ruling from tax court in Canada. All right, so yeah, the tax court ruled that their marketing and trading structure used for certain intercompany sale and purchase agreements were in compliance. And so a ruling from tax court, a positive ruling from tax court is what's ultimately affecting CCJ. And so that's good news. I mean, it's legitimate news. I don't know if it's enough to make it gap up that much, but I'm definitely going to watch this one for CCJ. The next one I'm looking up is GERN, just because I think GoPro's just up on the same momentum it was yesterday, and same thing with AMRN. But looking up GERN now just to get the details on this failed deal with Johnson & Johnson, that's ultimately what's causing this 68% plunge in pre-market. So Johnson & Johnson end partnership, which is what ultimately pushed GERN up. And so a tough break for GERN. You know, it was having a great year as well. You can see GERN. The last year, it was just really positive. A lot of movement up. You know, its low in the last year was 174, and it's right around there now. And so look at all this crazy move, this big push up here on GERN all year. And then there's just that bad Johnson & Johnson break. That Johnson & Johnson backing out of this deal, causing it to kind of wash under. So kind of a tough break for GERN. But yeah, Johnson & Johnson's ending a licensing partnership and return rights to the biotech company. This move is set to wipe out over $700 million in market value for GERN. That's more than a third of the total, or that's more than the total ascribed value to a third of the companies on the NASDAQ Biotech Index. And so crazy drop, man. 700 million gone in value, gone on GERN after that failed partnership, that Johnson & Johnson backing out. So interesting here to see if it bounces or if it just fails. Really interesting to watch and see kind of what happens with this one. Another one I'm looking at is CAG. It's gapping down some from 36 to 34, gapping down exactly $2 at this point. Sorry, guys. Got to catch my voice a little bit. But yeah, CAG is the next one I'm looking at. After poor first quarter estimates is what's causing CAG to gap down from 36 to 34. It missed the estimated earnings at 47 cents per share when the estimated earnings was 49, and so bad first quarter earnings for CAG. And that's basically it from what I see. I'm gonna look up ACHV even though I can't trade it. Gapping up from 273 to 373. All right, so ACHV is up on positive data for new smoking cessation formula. The company posted positive data for a new formulation of a smoking cessation treatment. And so that's good news. We'll see what happens with that one. Mitch is usually with me. The only thing is that Mitch works Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so he's never on the stream on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes he'll drop by if he can find the time at work. But most of the time he's just not on the stream these days on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You know, usually he has work and he's only on the stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. So he'll be here tomorrow. It's just like I said, he's working right now. And so that's ultimately why he's not here. But yeah, hopefully we get another move here. IGC is pushing up some. And you can see IGC starting to spike up to 350s. And that looks interesting. I may look at that one on Robinhood for IGC. Also, SNES, not really doing much. TRVG, not doing much. SWCH, pushed up some, but then dropped all the way back down. It went all the way as high as 1138, but it's back down to 1083. EURN, not really moving much. But yeah, kind of a slow day, guys. Not really too much that looks good. AIPT kind of gapping up. I don't think I can trade this one. It looks too slow. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I think AMRN's still gonna move some. It's been moving every day the last few days. I just think it's bound to come down some at least from these big moves. I mean, it's up from 278. Let me look at the catalyst for AMRN. But like I said, I think it's bound to come down some, and that's just my thesis. You know, it's just a guess. You know, just speculation. But that's just kind of what I see when I look at this one. Yeah, BBBY earnings. I was looking at BBBY. It's down some, right? Yeah, it's same thing with AAOI. All of these are down some. So a lot of down gappers today in this market. But gonna watch some of the moves from yesterday, see if a possible second day fader. I think the overall market's probably down some. I know the SPY dropped yesterday right before the close. It's gapping up technically in pre-market, but I think the overall market's probably down some today. At least I see a lot of down gappers, a lot of earnings, which are down. I'm trading with 13,692. Kind of a slow day in the stream as well, but hey, slow days are ultimately going to happen. I mean, do I ever feel like I picked the wrong stocks to trade? I mean, of course, I think everybody feels like they sometimes pick the wrong stocks to trade. With regard to my strategy, though, I mean, it's usually I'm just looking at gapping up stocks. A lot of times the stocks I'm watching are stocks that other people are watching too. You know, it all just depends on what type of trader you are, how you plan to approach it. You know what I mean? Gotta drink some coffee, wake up a little bit. But yeah, CCJ spiking up here. This is, like I said, this is probably my favorite one. It's up to 1150. What's up, WL Valores? What's up, man? I appreciate the sub, Dylan. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it, man. Definitely a slow day, though, today. It's kind of been a slow week. Aside from Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday looked really good. And then everything kind of just slowed down after that. One stock I'm not going to trade today no matter what is NIO. IGC spiking in pre-market. Yeah, I can look that one up. Give me a second. But yeah, nice little spike there on IGC. I'm going to look at that one on Robinhood. Maybe look to trade that one on Robinhood. So IGC entered into a CBD drink market. So yeah, IGC is a cannabis stock. Yeah, it said it's entering into the CBD drink market with its Nitro G drink. And that's ultimately why it's moving up. Just a press release out for IGC. That's possible, Fritzy. I did see the market dropped overall some because the Feds raised the interest rates yesterday. And so the overall market was down yesterday. You can see the drop in the SPY after the rates were released yesterday. It is rebounding some, but look at this drop. This is the drop right here. So after the Feds released the higher interest rates, you can see this big drop in the SPY, which kind of follows the top stocks in the market, the overall market, the S&P. And so, yeah, 100% Fritzy is that I think the market's down overall because of the Fed's raised interest rates. I mean, I can't trade IGC unfortunately, but yeah, I feel you, man. I would normally look at IGC for a short. My basic strategy is kind of different than a lot of people. I kind of look for I like to short gapping stocks. Like a lot of traders, especially new traders, they'll see a stock gapping up this much and they'll be long biased. And I'm kind of the opposite. When I see a stock gap up this much, I'm inherently short biased with it, just because I like to play momentum. And I think when it gaps up over 10%, then it has more momentum to head back down, if that makes sense. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick. Oh, sorry guys. I've been sitting here talking to myself, man. Sorry, man. Yeah. What's up, Ben? Sorry, I've been talking to myself for the last 5 minutes. Uh, no, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I've been back for like the last 5 minutes. But no, AMRN starting to push up OGEN. I was sitting there talking to myself. So Ben from SnapTrade is here. And so like I said this morning, SnapTrade is an awesome free website for traders to check out. They recently updated their news section to add a lot of cool stuff. And if you have any suggestions that you want to see added to SnapTrade, if you have any features you would like to see, let Ben at SnapTrade know. You can either leave it here in the chat or just go down to the feedback button on the top right of SnapTrade and just let them know. And the cool thing about that company is that they are working towards adding stuff their users really want to see. And so go check them out. Like I said, if you want to see something added to SnapTrade, just let us know. They do their best to add it and kind of go after what their users really want to see. So go check that out. That's snaptrade.us. Yeah, I was talking to myself, Rel, the last 5 minutes or so. But yeah, the day's kind of slow here. Like usually we have around 200 people here. We've only have 111. So I think the slow day overall in the market is causing some people to just take a break from it and not really show up here. All right, guys, but we got less than a minute left, and so I'm getting ready to trade. CCJ looks good. IGC didn't look bad here. IGC is up after they said they were going to enter the cannabis drink market, and so IGC is up because of that. That's one I'm watching. Maybe trade on Robinhood or something. But yeah, watching GoPro, a few of these other big down gappers. Yeah, we got less than a minute. Yeah, so some people saying they want to see a SnapTrade app. I think that's a good idea as well, a SnapTrade app. All right, guys, we got 10 seconds, so good luck, everyone. Yeah, definitely watching ACHV as well. Unfortunately, it's not tradable in TEFs for me, but I can look to trade it on possibly Robinhood maybe. All right, there's the bell. Got to stay patient today. Today's kind of an account preservation day. Like I said, trying to stay patient. Want to preserve my account today. There's not that much volume in the market from all the stocks I can trade, and so got to just protect my account. Look to see some moves here. GERN just broke under the lows of the last year in pre-market, and so going to keep an eye on ACE or GERN here. GoPro spiking up some. Main watch is CCJ though. Gonna look for it to pull underneath this VWAP area, maybe down to 1125 or so, and then spike back up to the VWAP, possibly get in for a short play. Up to 1155 on CCJ. GoPro at 713. Looking at that one. We got the cannabis stocks. CAG is another one I'm watching. So CCJ up to the 1180s. So watching this one. All right, have a good day, Tiny. No worries. We'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. So IGC pulling back some now. IGC down to 345. And looking at AMRN, I really want to see AMRN break under this 1330 level just because it had a lot of support there before I really try to get into this one going short. It doesn't look that bad, but want to see it break under that support before I try to think about getting in here at 1337. CCJ ended up, doing the opposite of what I thought. It's up to almost 12 now. And GERN rebounding, which I thought was pretty likely for GERN. I thought it was most likely going to rebound today just because it's down like 70%, maybe more than that on the day since overnight last night. And so watching that one. But a lot of stocks are rebounding some after some drops yesterday. BKTX spiking up some. AMRN rebounding some here. So yeah, what I see right now is the market rebounding some, at least the stocks I'm watching. All four of these stocks that I was watching are actually pushing up some, rebounding some from those increased interest rates. Same thing with the cannabis stocks. They're up to 1120s. Nice, John. Now we got to pull back on CCJ. IGC pulling back to the VWAP and then possibly bouncing off of there for a washout long maybe on IGC. We got CAG dropping. GERN's testing this $2 level right here. Gonna watch this one for GERN. But yeah, at this point, it looks like a bullish day. And I think somebody mentioned it this morning, is that what's been going on lately with the market is that it's kind of turning into like a bullish market instead of being a bearish market where I can get into a lot of VWAP fades. There's really been a lot of long setups, you know, looking out. But yeah, GERN testing 2 still. CCJ pulling back some. Looking at VKTX pulling back some. Want to see a little bit bigger bearish trends for some of these though. NIO looks to be setting up with a fade, but I don't trust it. Not after how the last few days have been on trading it. Hey, nice. ACHV. Let me look at it. What's ACHV doing? Nice little washout long for ACHV, really. Hey, nice job, Andre. Hey, man. Green's green, brother. Good work. Kind of looking at CAG here. It's a down gapper. Also watching ACHV to possibly bounce off the VWAP at around 420 is what I'm kind of looking for with this one. CCJ ended up coming all the way back down. Now, if CCJ can get down to 1138 and then bounce back up to the VWAP, I might take it on the short side. Also looking at VSTM. It's tanking pretty hard. And Cron maybe for a VWAP bounce here is what I'm looking at for Cron, CRON. There goes IGC, pulling up some, coming back down. AMRN running up some. Looking at CAG here. See if it pulls back to the VWAP, which it's kind of doing now. Really, ultimately, I'd like to see a little bit more of a bearish trend in this one. That's rough, Mitch. What's up, brother? What's up, man? VSTM's just tanking hard. Wow, look at NIO. The one time I don't take the fade on NIO, that thing just tanks. Looking at a possible VWAP bounce on ACHV here. There's a rejection at $2 on GERN. Alright, so I'm watching CCJ at this point. It pulled back. Looking for a pullback on CCJ back up to this 1160 level. Let me kind of set the pre-market range though. 1150s, 1163 looks good. So if I start to get in this one at 1150s, I can consider shorting it. So watching CCJ to see if it pulls back here. Big drop on Cron and some of these cannabis stocks. Big drop. At this point, I'm watching CCJ, see if it pulls back here to the VWAP. Looking at ACHV, see if it does a VWAP bounce here. So here's a bounce back up on CCJ. I don't mind taking a larger position because I like the way this one's setting up. It has to bounce up a little bit higher, but I don't mind jumping in with 100 shares if it gets up to 1150s or so. I do like this move to start kind of scaling back into it. All right, I'm in with 100 on CCJ. Gonna plan to add if it gets back up to 1150s. Maybe get in a little bit early here for CCJ, but don't mind kind of keeping an eye on it and watching it close here. Maybe got a little bit too antsy with this one. Maybe jumped in a little bit too early. VSTM looks to be fading off the VWAP nicely though. VSTM here. Getting right up there. Looks good. Alright, there's 50. I don't mind adding another 100 shares here on this spike. Alright, so I'm in with another 100 shares, making my full size 200 on CCJ. It's down to 53. Yeah, it would have been a beautiful fade on VSTM here. I called that one out. Look at that beautiful drop. That would have been a beautiful fade on VSTM here. Called this one out. Beautiful quick fade though. Happened really quickly. Yeah, NIO just tanked. It faded off the VWAP nicely though there. All right, we got CCJ at the VWAP again, getting close here. Got to be careful with it. Probably wasn't the day for me to try to use bigger sizing on stuff like this. Starting to get a little nervous with it now. Possibly not cutting my losses here. Or possibly going to cut my losses here if it gets up too much. Gotta let it test this resistance here is what I'm ultimately letting it do at 70. VSTM was definitely the trade to get into though. It's back down to 60s. I want to see it hold under that level. I don't want to see it bounce off the VWAP here. There's backdrop, another drop under the 50s, which looks good. Kind of what I wanted to see. Back up to 60. At least I have a very obvious risk point in this trade now. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be bouncing off the VWAP here. You might be right, Mitch. I've just been in a slump the last few days, man. I don't know what it is, but it's like my trading was going great. It's kind of one of those things where the market always changes, and I just got to be ready for it because it's like, 2 months I was averaging one losing day a week, and then the last 2 weeks happened, and it just kind of, just brutal. Especially this week has been an extremely tough week. I want to see it fail here. I like that drop again. That's the second drop it's made down to 54. So I like that. Let's see it drop more. There we go. I love that drop here. Let's see if we can get under the $half though. It's what I'm ultimately looking for at this point. Kind of some choppy sideways action, but I want to see it crack under the 1150s now. And I'm using bigger sizing, and so my loss might be ultimately bigger, but I don't hate the way this one looks at this point. It's just the spread I have to watch out for. I do like the way that I have a defined risk at this point in the trade, though. Well, when I got in the trade, my risk level was here at the 1168 point. Obviously, I'd like to see this one come back down, but we'll see if it does that. I want to see some weakness here. But yeah, the VWAP fade just hasn't been working as much lately. I don't know if it's the market or what it is, but it just hasn't been working as often as it did previously. Yeah, for sure, insurance. I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, I just have to work on, like, I was really proud of myself for back testing the VWAP fade strategy, and I think it may be changing. The market may be changing some, which is fine. The big thing is I have to take advantage of the strategy when it works, and I think when the VWAP fade was working, I didn't use big enough sizing to really take advantage of the VWAP fade when it was working. At this point, we'll see if the VWAP fade is still valid in the market, just because it hasn't been lately. Now's the point in this trade where I start to get a little nervous. I want to see it get rejected here. Don't want to see a bull flag, which it might be. Risk is 71, and I'm going to get out. It's also a slow market day for me. There wasn't a lot of movers, and so I may be kind of letting this one go a little bit too long here. We'll see. I would love to see a double top here, but we'll see if it works out. I do like the really obvious defined risk in this trade at this point, though. Very obvious risk level. All right, back down to the 59s. Let's see if it actually breaks it this time. IGC may be doing a VWAP rejection, and NIO is right around the VWAP fade. Although NIO, I've tried to trade that one multiple times in the last few months, and it just hasn't worked out for me. Let's see if we get the drop I'm looking for here for CCJ, though. I want to see it pull underneath the VWAP, obviously. I just have to tell myself, in the grand scheme of things, the losses, although they're bigger than I'm used to, when I use bigger sizing, they're still small in the grand scheme of things. Back up to 65. I don't like there's a lot of green on the time and sales. That is a little concerning. I also think it's kind of a tricky day in the market overall, though. I can kind of see this forming a little bit of a channel here. Obviously want to see a break on the downside on this channel, though.
got 59. So let's see a decent drop here is what I want to see. There's 55s. There we go. 54s. Let's see if we actually get a crack under the $0.50 is what I want to see at this point. It's kind of been forming a little channel here. I don't like that quick rebound and that big down wick. Really would like to see it hold under 60 at this point. Like I said, though, I have a tight risk area. I'm just going to stick to that risk of 71. A lot of people buying it up on the dip. $53, so it looks good. $52s, $50s, there we go. That's what I ultimately want to see here. See if we can get a little bit of bigger drop. I don't like that big down wick though. It's struggling to stay under the $0.50, so I don't know if I really like that, but I'm trying to give it that time. Yeah, at this point it's struggling just to hold under the $0.50. I don't think it looks bad at this point, but I think it's struggling to hold under the $0.50. I think it broke under there for a split second. I tried to take profits, but it was just too quick. And so at this point, I want to see it hold underneath the VWAP for sure. We'll see though. Want to see a rejection here as well. There we go. I like that rejection. Want to see it actually make a big move down though. I'm also thinking about maybe sizing down a little bit, taking some off, just so I'm a little bit more comfortable in this trade. But definitely have a lot of stuff to work on this weekend, honestly, though, guys. It's been a tough week. Toughest week I've had in a year or so. Here we go. I like that drop. Let's see if we get an actual drop under the $0.50 at this point. A lot of red going through on the time and sales. Down to 49. It has that support at 11.40 now after that big down week, though, so we'll see. Gurn is down after a failed deal with Johnson & Johnson. There's 50, 49s. Let's see if we can actually crack under it now. It keeps bouncing back and forth. 1150s, 1158. Just looking for an area to take some profit off here. Some of this risk off is really what I'm looking at. 1140 is going to be that area, I think. If it can get back under there, even if it's quick. I want to see it actually hold under the $0.50 at this point. There's 48. It's a promising sign. Let's see if it actually holds now instead of rebounding up again. I think you can get as many students as you want, Jamesy. I think so. Not 100% sure though, but I'm pretty sure you can buy as many students as you want. There's back up to the $0.50. Yeah, I'm not really feeling comfortable in this one. I'll probably end up exiting soon here if it pushes up anymore. I'll let it test the VWAP. If it breaks the VWAP, I'll get out. Just because it's faked me out going under the VWAP a few times now. Gonna let it test here. If it breaks, I'm out. Gotta watch the level 2 pretty closely here. One second, Paul. I'll send you the discount link, man. Actually, I'll post it right now. Oh, sorry. So yeah, here's the link to get 20% off the intro package on TEFs. The 20% off deal, it does expire at the end of this month. And so if anybody's interested in getting 20% off the intro package, you can go through my link and get the intro package for $3.99 as opposed to $500, which is what it usually is. I do make a small commission from it, but if you want to make me feel better about my trading this week, you can go through my link, and it does help support the channel, so I appreciate any support we can get. But yeah, the biggest flaw with TEFs and TradeNet is that some stocks aren't tradable. I can usually find stocks to trade like today, but that's the biggest flaw in my mind, is that some stocks are not tradable. It's the biggest problem I've had with them thus far. Still a good platform, and you're essentially getting $700 to lose, only paying $499 if you pay for if you go through my link for the rest of this month. Yeah, no worries, Paul. Appreciate you going through my link, man. It helps support this channel. It's one of the ways we keep the stream free. And so, yeah, appreciate anybody going through the link. In my mind, it's still a pretty good deal, honestly, just because, like I said, you're paying $400 or $500, depending on if you go through my link or not, to be able to lose $700. On TEFs, you have a $700 max loss. And so you're essentially getting more to lose than you're paying, which I thought was cool. And so I think it's great for new traders to learn. Like I said, though, there are some problems. Mainly, some stocks aren't tradable is the biggest problem. But if you can get around that, I think it's a decent broker. Quick fills, decent platform as well. Nice, Paul. Hey, appreciate you going through my link, brother. Here we go. Ready to take some risk off here if it can hold for once. See if we can get an actual decent, significant drop here. It's kind of forming a little channel. Just kind of waiting for it to crack if it does. The 20% off deal is only until the end of this month, so you have 3 days until the end of this month to take advantage of the deal. And so yeah, it's until the end of September, and so you have 3 days until the end of September to take the deal or to go through my link. After that, I still have a 10% off link, and so you'll still be able to get 10% off, but the 20% off one expires at the end of this month. Some green rolling through on the level 2. A lot of bids set up on the level 2. See if we can get an actual drop here. I would love to see a drop, obviously. See if we can get a crack down. My profit target is down to 1130. We'll see if we can ever get there. It's kind of forming a little channel at this point. But yeah, I think Mitch was right. Sorry I haven't been kind of keeping up in the chat. I think Mitch is right. I got in too early. I think it was the strategy. I think I just got in a little bit too early here. I got in here. If I would have gotten in here, my risk would have been much tighter. And I think that's probably one of the main things I did wrong so far. So the 20% off is just on the intro package. You can get the other packages for 10% off if you go through my link, but the 20% off is just on the intro package. There's 47. Let's see if it'll finally let me take some risk off. I want to get some off at 40, but it hasn't been holding under the $0.50. And it does have a little bit of a triple top there. There's 46. See if we can actually get a move down now. Keeps rebounding. I'll explain what I was trying to do once I'm out of the trade. I feel like I gotta focus on the trade at this point. I think when I kind of explain what I was trying to do, it'll make a little bit more sense. I was essentially trying to get in early and then add once it got to the VWAP, and that's what I did. I got in a little bit early, added 100 shares up here. It spiked up here. I wanted to let it test this resistance right here, which it did, and get rejected, and so that's kind of what I was thinking with this trade. Maybe it was a bad trade. Who knows, guys? I just try to, like I say, I put myself out there. I let people watch my good trades and bad trades just so they can see what it's like for a relatively new trader in the market, and that's all I'm trying to do. We'll see if it works out for me or not, though. There's 45s. $44s. All right, I just took 100 off. I needed to minimize that risk. I was too nervous in this trade. And so now I'm just holding 100 shares, and I'll let this work, you know. See if it can come back down, break 1140. The reason I took some off there, I think it may find some support here at 1140. And so I've been looking for an area to take some risk off, and I'm glad I took some off there. Don't mind letting this work a little bit longer now since I have just 100 shares. I think it may bounce back to the VWAP some. CAG is another one I'm kind of looking at for a VWAP fade. Maybe a little late though. IGC has been kind of fading off the VWAP some as well. Gonna go for break even at this point in the trade. Probably 1154. I know, Mitch, man. I know, brother. I know, man. I get it. Like I said, though, I was just too nervous in the trade. I had to take some risk off. Sorry if I'm a little short today, guys. Like I said this morning, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. My son's been waking up every day. Maybe that's affecting my trading too. They say if you get less than 6 hours of sleep, your IQ drops by 10 points. And so maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. I think the VWAP fade has not been working as well as it has in the last few months as well, though. I mean, I'm still pretty short biased in this one. I still think it looks weak. Yeah, man. I usually do too with kids, Corey. But it's not even, I haven't even been getting 6 hours of sleep, man. I've been getting like, it's not even that I've been getting less than 6 hours of sleep. It's that I woke up 4 times last night because my son would keep getting up. And so it's not even, I wouldn't really have to get out of bed, but I just woke up 4 or 5 times. And so that REM sleep, I'm not getting that deep sleep that I need. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting that deep sleep I need. And that's the problem, is that I'm not getting full sleep. You know, I might be in bed for 6 hours, but I'm not actually like sleeping the entire 6 hours. Like I said, I woke up like 4 times last night, and so realistically, I'm getting like, you know, 3 hours total of like deep sleep, which isn't enough. You know what I mean? All right, so I do like this drop. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of forming a little channel. I could see it bouncing. I'm going to let it test this area once and then get out for hopefully a small gain, depending on what it does here. I'd like to see it obviously curl back down under, but if it breaks 1150 again, I'm out. I just got to try to give myself a tight leash here. There we go. I do like this drop. Alright, so I'm out for a $17 gain on that, and I'm happy with that. I probably sold too soon, but like I said, I'm just ready to get this trade over with. I'm frustrated today. Oh, but honestly, I'm happy just to get out of that with a profitable trade. Today was a tough day. I'm obviously clearly aggravated today. I'm not in the best mood. Like I said, I haven't been getting enough sleep. And so I need to catch back up on sleep after the stream ends today. Alright, let me catch back up on the chat. Appreciate the sub, Karen and Aljam. Appreciate it, guys. Alright, let me catch back up on the chat. I know I got a lot of stuff in here. I think the withdrawal window is you can withdraw once a month, but only once a month. But you do want to ask them more than, more than me. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure, Silver. I think it's just for new signups. I think you can get the 10% off no matter what, no matter how many times you've signed up. But but I think the 20% off is only for new signups.
Yeah, I'm using OBS Studio is what I'm using to record my screen. Yeah, I gotta test the VWAP bounce a little bit more, John. Yeah, for sure. I've actually read those videos that you can get used to sleeping less. Like I said though, this isn't even sleeping less. This is just REM sleep. It's about REM sleep in my mind. Uh, it's all about REM sleep. Like, your body goes into REM sleep, which is like deep sleep, after about an hour or two of kind of like small time sleep. Like when you first fall asleep, you have about like you have kind of like a it's hard to I can't remember the words just because I'm so tired, but it's like you have minor sleep for the first hour or two, and then you go into deep sleep. The problem with the last few nights is that I'm not getting that deep sleep. I'm not getting that REM sleep. My son's waking up 4 times a night, and so instead of getting that full REM deep sleep, I'm just getting the minor sleep, which doesn't really count. It doesn't give you energy, and so instead of getting my REM sleep and being well rested the next morning, I'm waking up 4 times a night. And so even though I may sleep technically for 6 or 7 hours, realistically I'm probably getting like an hour or two of deep sleep, which is not good. Yeah, like I said, I'm just happy to get out for a profitable trade. I don't know how. I would have been extremely unhappy if that would have turned into a losing trade. Just because, like I said, today I didn't get enough sleep last night. And this has been the last 2 nights. And weirdly enough, the 2 nights I didn't get enough sleep, I had profitable days, which is strange. But whatever, man, I'll take it. Yeah, I missed the second move. I obviously could have hold on, but I think when I'm too nervous in the trade, I don't make the best decisions. And so that's why like I said, I was looking to take profits. I was trying to take profits. I just wanted to get some of that risk off, And so I got some off, and I was able to kind of let it work a little bit longer. Got out right around the lows. I got out at like 37. It went down to 33. So I'm happy with that. Lately, this is something I've been seeing that's been happening with the VWAP fade, is that it hasn't been fading perfectly like it usually does. Like for instance, lately it's been kind of doing this thing where it goes underneath the VWAP and then it pulls back and looks like a good fade, but it kind of pops right back over to the next support level, in this case 1170, which is where my risk was. I think my risk was a good risk area, obviously, because it bounced off of there 3 times, and so I'm happy with where I set my risk in that trade. Judging by where I got into it, it wasn't the best risk to reward trade. But like I said, I was planning on getting in early because I didn't want to miss the second move down, which it never really happened. But I got in a little bit early in case. The reason I got in early, just to explain people what I was doing, is that I got in early in case it got rejected here and washed out. And so if it did end up getting rejected here, I could just write it down with that original 100 shares. And my plan was that if it did end up pushing up to the VWAP, I could add another 100 shares, which is what I did. My risk was a good risk area, a very obvious risk area at 1170. So I'm glad I kind of stuck to that risk level and didn't get scared out of the trade. And it looks like a good fade. Like this is what the VWAP fade looks like. But if I would have gotten in at the VWAP, the risk would have been much tighter with a better reward level. Like for instance, if I would have gotten in the trade around the VWAP at 1160, I could essentially set my risk at 1170, giving me a 10-cent risk, and my potential reward would be from 1160 down to 1140 right here. And so giving me 2-to-1 risk to reward. And so that's kind of what the plan was to get in around at least add around the VWAP. And so when I judge it by that, it's really not bad risk to reward. I decided to kind of do something that I work on sometimes, which is getting in a little bit early and planning on adding at the VWAP, which is what I did. And then once I added at the VWAP, I gave myself a tighter risk at 1170. So 10 cents away from where I added to the position. Now that doesn't give me great risk to reward because I got in early, but that was kind of the plan and it worked out to a certain extent.
But yeah, that was kind of my plan with it. I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right, so I don't know if I'm gonna get anything else. Kind of a tough day. At least I had a profitable day yesterday, and I had a profitable day today. Regardless of whether today people agree with whether today was a good trade or not. I hope that kind of makes sense. What I was looking for. I mean, like I said, Alex, I don't know if it was a horrible trade. I think that if I get in around the VWAP and I set my risk level to this support level here, that's a 10 cent risk. I could set my reward at 11.30. Even if you're conservative with it, I could set my risk at 11.40, giving me a at least 2-to-1 trade if I get in around the VWAP here. Um, I think I got in a little bit early, but I also think that that was kind of my plan, was to get in early and add to the VWAP and then set a 10 cent risk with a 20 cent reward. And so I don't think it was a terrible trade, honestly. I mean, it was a profitable trade, regardless of whether it was good or bad. You know what I mean? Options trades. I might have a video on options trades. Let me see if I can find it. Let me look. I might have one. I'll have to check. Let me see if I can find one. I think I have one on options trades. I think it's specifically like a review of Robinhood options. Yeah, I have one on Robinhood options. Yeah, I'll post that link. There's the only video I really have on options. I don't know that much about them.
Um, I've had mixed results with options. Not, I wouldn't really think I know enough about them to really kind of make a video about it. Like options is still something I'm kind of toying with. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would be great, man. Right, 100% insurance. Like I said, exactly what I said. I'm not sure. I mean, I know TradeNet does have an options or have a mobile platform. Um, I haven't really figured that one out yet. What does the link say, Paul? You having trouble going through the link? What does the link say? Let me try posting it here and try to go through it myself. I mean, when I go through it, it shows me this screen right here, the TradeNet link. And so I don't know if you're getting that screen or not. There's the link right there. Is the whole entire link not working? I'm also looking at VSTM here for a possible fade. It doesn't look bad. Um, Kind of a downward fade though, and this is something I've been seeing more and more is that the big down gappers are the ones been fading. Okay, so maybe try paying with PayPal, Paul. That's how I've always paid. I've always paid via PayPal for my intro packages. So maybe PayPal would probably work the best, but I'm not 100% sure, man. Like the way I do it is I pay via PayPal and I just set my card up to PayPal. Yeah, you might have to call your bank. It might be because it's an international purchase. And so you might have to call your bank. The way I got around that, I think it actually did that with me before too. Yeah, I think it actually did that with me before. The way I do it is just I pay via PayPal. You can go through PayPal. If you look at the page screen, like where you pay for it, um, you if you look at the pay screen, you can pay through PayPal. It should be at the bottom. That's kind of how I've paid for it before. Hey, nice WL Valores. Yeah, man. Like I say, when I see a huge down gapper like this, I'm inherently long biased. Um, and I know I have a few people here today saying they disagree with my strategy. I get it. You know what I mean? The big thing is, I mean, it was a profitable trade, regardless of whether the strategy or my plan was correct or not. But like I say, if you look at it from this perspective, if you plan to get in around the VWAP at 1160 and set your risk at 1170, that's a 10-cent risk. You could set your reward at the low of the day at 1130 or at 1140, and it's still either 1 to 2 risk to reward or 1 to 3 risk to reward. And so regardless of which area you set your reward, either at 1140 or 30, it's still pretty good risk to reward if you get in around the VWAP. I got in a little bit early, and so that was maybe my problem. But like I said, I was planning on scaling into the trade, and so that's kind of what I did. It ended up working out. Hey, no worries, John. Or no worries, Alex. And that's the thing about trading, man, is that even if I don't agree with another trader, I'm not going to say they're wrong, because I know that even if a trader trades the opposite of me, trades the opposite of the strategy I'm using, it doesn't necessarily mean they're right or wrong. It just means they trade differently than I do, you know. But no worries. Yeah, I don't think it's going to fill that gap, WL Valores, but who knows, brother? It could, man. The big thing here is that it had pretty bad news. Johnson & Johnson, which is a huge company, backed out of the deal here. And so, uh, that's pretty bad news. Now, it gapped down so much that I think a rebound was pretty likely, but I don't know if it's going to fill the whole gap going up. Right, 100%, man. I mean, like I think I said it before, like even if you trade the opposite trade of me, like the complete opposite trade, even if you buy when I say sell, or when I sell, or even if you sell when I buy, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. You know what I mean? We could be planning on holding it to different levels. You never know. I really just look at risk to reward is what I kind of use to guide the trade. And like I say, if you enter here around the VWAP on CCJ, it's pretty good risk to reward. You enter around 1160, set your risk right here at this resistance at 1170, giving you a 10-cent risk. You could set your reward either at the low of the day at 1130 or at 1140 right here at this support level of the first candle. And so regardless of which way you look at it, I mean, if you get in around the VWAP at 1160, it's good risk to reward. I got in a little bit early. And my plan was to add around the VWAP. And so, I mean, like I said, if you disagree, that's fine. Not going to say you're wrong. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. It was a profitable trade. Okay, cool. Nice, Paul. Right, 100%, John. Hey, appreciate the $5 donation, John O. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the support, man. Shout out to John O with the $5 super chat, brother. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, insurance. I mean, options. One thing I really stay away from. I think people always say that the most profitable way to do options is to sell options. I think I don't know enough about them to really get used to setting my risk area. You know what I mean? Like, I think when you sell an option, you kind of have a huge risk, especially if you don't know what you're doing like me. You know what I mean? With options. And so I'd rather just buy a call or buy a put. And that way, I know the max I'm ever going to lose in that trade is what I paid for the option. You know what I mean? That's what I stick to. As for like selling calls and selling puts, I just don't know enough about it. You know what I mean? Looking at VKTX here, it kind of had a nice little fade here off the VWAP a few times on VKTX. All right, so far this week, I've had two profitable days, one losing day, and one break-even day. Not that bad. We'll see how I finish the week off tomorrow. But I appreciate you going through my link, though, Paul. Appreciate that, brother. And Alex, man, where was Alex? Alex is one of the guys that said, Alex Williams, man. Hey, man, if you ever want to Skype and we can kind of talk strategy, kind of see if I can hear where you're coming from, let me know, man. We could always Skype, brother, and talk about it, man. And so just to show you no hard feelings, like I get a lot of people that disagree with me, and that's fine. I just judge by the last 2 months that, the strategies we've been using have been legitimate strategies. In the last 2 months or so, like I said, I'm averaging probably like a little bit over one losing day a week. And so I think the VWAP fade setup has had an edge. It may be, the market may be changing though at this point. And so, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it continues to work, continues to be valid. Hey, can you give me a tip on price action trading, research inside candle bars that'll help you stay in trades longer? I mean, not really. Listen, like I trade on support and resistance and VWAP. Is really the only two things I trade off of. And so I don't know if I'm the best to give you advice on price action. Oh, can you give me a tip on price action trading? Inside candlestick bars. Okay, I'll check that out, X Rojas. Hey, appreciate that, Rex. You went through it today, Rex? Appreciate that, brother. But yeah, I'm probably going to go ahead and close the stream down. Oh yeah, people of the book. I know you were another one that disagreed with me as well, man. And hey, look, disagreeing with me is fine. That's the beautiful thing about trading is that everybody can kind of have their own little style and niche. Some people may agree with it, some people don't. You know, like I said, I hope I kind of showed you guys what I was talking about with this one. It wasn't bad risk to reward. It's specifically if you get in around the VWAP here. Like if you get in around 1160, your risk is only at 1170. Your potential reward is either at 1140 or 1130, giving you at least 2 to 1. If you set it at the low of the day, 3 to 1. And so, I mean, I don't think it was a bad risk to reward trade. I think I got in a little bit early is the problem. All right, WL Valores, have a good day, man. You didn't disagree? I thought you were one of the ones that disagreed. Oh, you said, I'm not sure what he is trying to do. I thought he got in at 1150 and it reached around 1165. I got in at 1150 and then I added once it got up to the VWAP at 1160 is what I did. And like I said, I think I kind of explained the trade idea. You get in at 1160. Risk is 10 cents at 1170. So 10 cent risk. You could set your reward at either 1140 for the low of the first green candle or at 1130, which was the low of this move on pre-market. And so regardless of where you set your reward, it's either 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 a reward to risk ratio. So your risk is 2 or 3 times bigger than or your reward is 2 or 3 times bigger than your risk. And that's ultimately what I was shooting for with the trade. Alex J and J backed out. What does that mean? Oh, I'm looking too high. Oh, nice, Rex. Well, good luck, brother. Hey, appreciate that insurance. John is a very good trader. Once he gets his legs, he'll be very profitable with bigger money. That's why trading takes years. You have to overcome fears. 100%, man. And like I said, this week I've been using smaller sizing. And so when I went with a little bit bigger sizing with this CCJ trade, I was too nervous in the trade. And that's why I think you have to understand yourself. I understand myself well enough. That's why you kept hearing me say I'm looking to unload some of this risk. Like I'm not comfortable in the trade. I was waiting for that drop down to 1140s. And I finally got the drop and took a partial just to get some of that risk off. I could have been a much bigger trade if I would have held on to some of the risk. But I know myself well enough to know I wasn't comfortable in it. All right, Dulio. Dulio says you're whack. I usually set them from the high and the low of the candles, Alex. Like I said, if you want to Skype about it, we could talk about it, man. Try to kind of pick each other's brains a little bit with why we disagree.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, man. Like, I'm open to criticism. I really am. If you're like a member of the stream, but if you come in and you're just being negative, you're just insecure. You know what I mean? But if you've been in the chat, you've been in the stream for a while, and you try to give me constructive criticism, I'm really open to that. And like I said, Alex, if you want to Skype one day, brother, and we can kind of, hear each other out, talk about it, it may improve both of our trading, let me know, man. Yeah, man. I mean, the VWAP fade was legit insurance. I mean, I appreciate the support, brother. Appreciate the positive words, man. Especially considering how today's gone. But yeah, man, the VWAP fade showed an edge, and it's a setup that I actually back tested, and so I knew it had an edge when I started trading it. It might be time to look at something else, though. I mean, I haven't been seeing it as often as I had previously. I mean, here's the thing though. Like, even if you disagree with where I set my risk, it's kind of hard to disagree that much because you can see it went right up to that risk level and never broke it. It was actually a double or triple top right at the risk level I set myself at, which was 1171 is actually the exact level I told myself I was risking. And so even if you disagree with that, I mean, look at what it did. It bounced right up to that risk level and got rejected each time. And so it was obviously a resistance level, which is where I set my risk. Um, and I don't think you can really pretend like it's not. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, if you look at the chart, it got rejected right at where my risk level was 3 times. And so I think that kind of confirms that it was a good risk level to set because it got rejected there 3 times, as you could see. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream down now. I need to catch back up on some sleep, guys. So good luck for the rest of the day. I hope everyone made some money today. Green day yesterday, green day today. Got to work on using bigger sizing, but really, I need to get a full night's sleep, honestly. And so I gotta get my full night's sleep. So good luck for the rest of the day. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I day trade live on stream, win or lose, every weekday morning, starting at 8:40 market time. And so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to check out the stream. Also, if you want to do me a favor and help support this channel, click the like button right now in this video. It does help support us. We appreciate any support we can get. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day, guys. I'll see you all later. Oh, also, guys, if anybody's interested in signing up to TEFs, I'll go ahead and post the link here. The sale ends at the end of this month. And so, until the end of this month, in the next 3 days, you can get 20% off the intro package. We do make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways we help support this channel. And so if you want to help support our channel, you can go through that link. We definitely appreciate it if you do. We still try to be honest with people about it. The biggest flaw with TEFs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker, is that some stocks are not tradable. And, if you can get around that, I think it's a great broker. But that is the biggest flaw, is that some stocks aren't tradable. And so, make sure you understand that and ask them, reach out to them if you have any questions. But, yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. Appreciate the $5 donation, John O. Appreciate that, brother. Means a lot, man. So appreciate the support. And, yeah, guys, have a good rest of the day. And I'll see you guys later.